yeah. I mean, Eric wouldn't listen. He didn't know, and we knew he didn't know, and he came, there with me and Greg, But Eric, would listen to guys that knew stuff, occasionally. And when I saw Russo come in and all the weird, stupid, and he thought wrestling was just a joke and everything was a pre-written skit, and I wanted to puke, and I'm going, why would you even bring this guy here? And then the one money guy from TBS said, hey, yeah, we got this writer in here from the WWE, and guess what, Larry? He wasn't even under a contract, so I got him. I went, Bill, this is a contract and he's not important. What the hell do you want him for? Oh, shit. Anyway, it just got so pathetic. And then he becomes a champion. I wanted to kill myself. So I just wouldn't watch.
Almost as bad as when David Arquette won the title?
Yeah, almost as bad as that. And that was another, just as like, can that footage just be destroyed forever? Or hidden in the Vatican or something?
Yeah, that was one of those moments where I just thought to myself, wow, they're really trying to get popular, but they're doing it in the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I was already gone by then. Bobby was gone. So it was done. And they already knew they were getting canceled, so.
So they thought they had nothing to lose, really, so it's like, why
yeah,
not?
nothing. Their new job now was not to spend any money because they just had, pay-per-view contracts that the bills were so long and all that.
So now you left WCW, and after a couple of years you went to TNA, as you mentioned earlier, and you were kind of like the championship committee authoritative figure. What was it like working for TNA in those early days?
Well, I think for me it was fun because being a championship committee meant I really didn't do anything. I made a little speech now and then or something. So, I got to go to Universal and hit all the free rides. But there was fun with the talent, too, because at that time when TNA started, they had a bunch of new guys. New guys were great. AJ Styles was great, and Storm was, and Harris, and some other guys were, The Abyss, and Daniel. They had a good crew of, guys there. It was fun, and they were good, and, it was fun for me for a while. It was right down the street because I was in Orlando, and they started doing it, in Universal. So, it worked good. It was fun, but then after about a year and a half or so, it just kind of... Actually, I know what happened. I know what happened. Guess who they brought in to book the place?
Vince Russo?
Vince Russo. I left. That's right. That's Dixie. No. She wouldn't listen. So I'm like, good luck. So I left. Then next thing I know, TNA is dead.
It is getting to that point. But during your tenure in there, you actually got to wrestle a couple of times. Especially, you had an actual on-screen feud with Raven. What was it like working with Raven?
Well, I don't remember how I ever got talked into that. But, I hardly remember that until you brought it up. I mean, it was a goofy little stint at the time.
Yeah, because I think that, you didn't see him... Well, I think your character didn't see him as being world championship material, and you wanted him fired, and then they brought him back, and you did your classic hair versus hair match at that year's Victory Road, which...
Okay, I remember that. But, I remember doing it, but kind of in the fog of 10,000 other matches.
Was Raven easy to work with? Because I've actually had one person actually met Raven, and they said, Raven is a dick. Is he at all a dick, or is he just kind of misunderstood?
Well, you know what? I really don't know. I mean, again, when I did my stuff with Raven, that generation of guys, they were already calling me sir, and they were all very nice and respectful, and they just listened. So, what I did with Raven was easy because, I'm the one that set it all up.
Right.
So so I didn't have how Raven was with other guys. Because I wasn't like, no, it was just like one silly little thing. But I was no threat to anybody's career. But then, when you get a bunch of younger guys, sometimes knives getting, they all want their jobs, or other guys want their jobs. There's so many guys that want to be wrestlers nowadays. It's amazing. But there's only, room for how many,
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazed every weekend. There's so many indies going on in like every city, and they've all got 50 people. And guys that kill themselves for no money. So I'm amazed by the whole underground thing.
Yeah, I'm amazed by that as well. But I guess some people miss the days when you had the territorial deals. I know that WWE has their major deal, but you got so many of these other promotions. You got Ring of Honor, you got Shine Wrestling, you got Evolve, you got so many of these other independent guys who try to make some kind of mark, and they do. It's always amazing just seeing how these guys, like you said, almost go out there and kill each other for little to no money, but always amazing just seeing how much of those talent actually gets called up by WWE, and they're noticing. It's like, let's see what this guy can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a long shot.
Right.
It's a brutal business. I mean, it's one way to get discovered. I mean, once every blue moon, some indie guy is up at DC and gets a break. I think Ring of Honor, with Kevin came from that kind of stuff, didn't he? Some Raw or something. I never heard the guy until he was at NXT.
Yeah, a bunch of guys from Ring of Honor have been coming to NXT. I mean, like you said, Kevin Owens did, Samoa Joe did. I believe Sami Zayn came from there too.
Oh, Sami, okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's I guess it's something you have to do nowadays to try to get noticed. Because it's such a brutal business, and becoming a wrestler is one thing, but the important thing is, do you know how to make money at it for 15 or 20 years? Because if you don't, by the time you're 40, you're going to be beat up and broke.
Right.
So it's brutal. It's a brutal business.
Talking from a guy who's lived it.
Mm-hmm. It was a little different in my day. In fact, probably a little easier because they wouldn't let anybody in the business, and there was territory. So when you would come back, you went to another. 2 years later, you come back to the other one and be fresh again. Now it's nationwide, worldwide. You make it or you're dead.
Basically. So we fast forward a bit to this year. You get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, inducted by your mentor, Bruno Sammartino. How was that feeling there? I mean, so many people there are there just listening to stories that you have, to all the things that you've done, to just appreciate everything you've done. How was it to be there in front of that crowd, to know that they are there appreciating all of you guys who paved the way for them?
Yeah, you know what? That Hall of Fame night was one of the wildest nights of my life. I mean, when some people say, and I'm kind of into this, I'm kind of like an alchemical shaman hermit, like have an out-of-body experience. Mm-hmm. We're all energy anyway.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it was the weirdest thing because I didn't write no speech. I was just going to... Meanwhile, you got a guy next to you, so don't go too long because we got, don't say this. And, okay. So I just went. I had a simple story, but it was my dream that came true. I wanted to be like Bruno. Went through his edges. The next thing I know, Bruno's standing here again. I'm old. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I got the ring on. It was like Bruno was there at the beginning, and then he was kind of there at the end. And the dream came true, kind of thing. But I didn't have nothing written down, and I went out there and I started talking, and I looked up at the audience for the first time, kind of, because I was looking around and I looked up in front of me,
mm-hmm.
and for the first time, instead of seeing people that you don't know and you're talking to, for the first time I saw everybody I've known for my whole career, Dusty and Pat and Mean Gene and this guy, Cena and Orton, and I mean, and they're all there in the first 4 or 5 rows, everybody know. And I looked up and I went, oh, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so. And then I said to myself, I looked up, I went, what the hell did I just say? And I remember saying to the crowd, I lost my train of thought. That's the last thing I remember. I don't remember a word I said after that. So much energy hit me that I went out of the body, and I was talking to the crowd. Whatever I said, my mind didn't remember when I got back in it. It was the weirdest thing. I remember, walking off the stage, and Vince came running up, and he said, Larry, you were in the moment. That's what I wanted. That was great, And Arnold grabbed me and said, you're the best actor I've ever seen. That was the greatest speech. And I don't remember a word I said. It was really the wildest thing.
It was kind of like your body went on autopilot.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what I wanted to say, and somehow it got out, because I rewatched it, and I went, oh, I did say that, I did say that, I did say that, I didn't. Yeah, it was really a kind of out-of-the-body thing, talking, on people staring at you.
You're so used to people, just, jeering at you and just hating you, but now you transition from that to all these people, applauding for you and just celebrating you. It's kind of like a different experience. Like, what did I do to get this?
Yeah, no, it was really nice, and it was nostalgic, and it was a real connection with the energy. I mean, I could feel it. It was the night of a lifetime. It was worth getting beat up for 30 years.
So, looking back at your career, is there anything that you would change, or would you keep your career the same that you've had for all these years?
Well, yeah, hindsight's 20/20. I mean, if I look back at my career, the only thing I probably would have done, maybe in the mid-'80s, the big Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, and that whole crew was all, starting to become old news in the mid-'80s. I kind of wish maybe I would have made a move to go back to the WWE then. But I wound up staying with the AWA. I married Vern's daughter.
Right.
But after that initial craze was cooling off, and they needed some different guys. It might have been a time. If I had the life to do over, I might have gave it a shot to go back. Because back then you didn't realize that. Now it's you say it because they got so huge.
Definitely.
So there would have been more of me in history, like Piper and that, because the WWE got so huge. I wish I would have done more stuff for them, but just the way it was.
Well, you usually can't change the past, but you can always make a difference in the present, and I think that you've done an incredible job. I mean, we were talking before the show about how you live not too far from the Performance Center, and you talk to a lot of the younger talent. How much of an influence do they give you credit for what you've either passed on to them or what you've said to them?
Oh, well, I mean, like an official credit, but I mean, some of the students that I've been watching and helped them out with things, they're very thankful. They're very excited, and it's a good feeling to pass on the knowledge. And I only kind of really mess around with the people that are going to be moving up.
Right.
And so, they got some guys might not even make it through there. It's just brutal.
It certainly can be. Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out good. It's right down the road, and so it's a good feeling. I feel like Larry won Kenobi.
Larry won Kenobi.
Yeah, and when you're done learning all these this, and I go see Yoda and Larry won, and get the final knowledge.
So if you're Larry One Kenobi, who is the supposed Yoda?
Terry Taylor.
Terry Taylor? Oh. Never thought of that.
Yeah. Well, Terry's there, working as one of the trainers.
Okay.
But he's the guy you